Can I also call to the stage our sign language interpreters wherever you are seated? May you join the stage, Mr. B. Mulimela and Ms. P. Mbokelwa. May you please join the stage as we get in the choir ready as well. Ntate B. Mulekelwa and Mr. B. Mulimela. May you please join the stage. Mr. DJ, can you keep your music a bit low? Mr. DJ, can you please switch off the mic?
sale ndizibheka kamnandi kanti mfethu lozithe when you're all here. Eugène, anginifuni la kule platform. Nix, hater. Izani ngapha ndinifuni la. Kufuneka nabo bhuti abakunika nina nix la. Yeah, but intwana nimhluphe la.
I was surprised they were not.
Yes, I can.
Well, welcome back to Ventersdorp, where we are remembering the youth of 1976. Things are about to get underway here. We understand that the president has arrived already inside. And of course, at this hour, we must say welcome to our SABC 1 viewers. We are live on SABC 1 and Channel 404. We'll be bringing the events to you live. Like I said, the president has arrived. It's been a busy morning here. We've been speaking to all kinds of people, not just government officials. We've been speaking to the youth here about the challenges that they face every single day here. And of course, those are issues that the president is likely to address when he takes to the podium just after 11 o'clock this morning. And what you see there is the Ikageng Bill Cosby traditional dance group. They'll be performing here a little bit later. For now, let's go to Lebo and check out what's happening on her side before the program officially gets underway. Lebo?
Absolutely, Noma, way too. As you know, the sports grounds has been quickly filling up. There are hundreds and hundreds of people here, and many still trying to find entrance, many still trying to find seating. From where I am, everyone is still queuing to get a space so that they can get a glimpse of the program, and especially the President of the Republic, His Excellency President Jacob Zuma. We've spoken to quite a number of people, as you alluded to earlier, Namawe, to the youth from different schools all across the province. We've spoken to a few entrepreneurs here. We've also spoken to some of the adults, the parents, the teachers that are also here to support the youth, to encourage them, you know, to especially start up their own businesses instead of relying on government to employ them, which ties in with the theme of today, the year of O.R. Tambo, advancing economic transformation and empowerment. As we can see, President Jacob Zuma is walking into the venue right now, and the program is about to start right now. He is entering the marquee as we speak, and indeed, it is all systems ready. His delegation there behind him. We will be waiting with eager ears to hear the message. There you can see the youth very, very excited by the arrival of the president, Mr. Jacob Getesekisa Zuma Numawethu.
As we raise up our flags and welcome the Honorable President, the Honorable Premier, and the Honorable Minister. Let's raise our flags. May we all sit as we have welcomed the Honorable President, Honorable Zuma, the Premier of the province, Honorable Supramahuma Pelo, and the Minister of Arts and Culture, Honorable Natim Tretwa. Our students, ke kopa le nneng mo fatshe go bontsha tlotla to our president. Let me request that the Northwest University Choir leads us with the AU and the South African national anthem. Re emella ka dinao bagaetsho borre, re rola dikuane mo ditlhogong to show respect to our national anthems. And re kopa gore le didimaleng bagaetsho, young people, let's keep the respect and the discipline. Bagaetsho ne ke kopa gore re didimaleng so that we allow the Northwest University Choir to lead us both with the AU and the South African national anthem. Northwest University Choir and the SAPS.
Together to defend our
Re lebogile Northwest University and the SABC choir. Re ka dula mo fatshe bagaetsho. As I've indicated, my name is Ntombi Koloti. I'll be co-directing the program with the Minister of Arts and Culture, Honorable Nathi Mthethwa. Let's move on to the next item in our program, which is to call to the podium Tonakgolo ya rona ya province ya Bokone Bophirima, Honorable Supra Maumapelo, go tla gore amogela baeng botlhe ba ba tswang ko di provinceng tse di farologaneng. Honorable Supra Maumapelo, can we put our hands together?
Ukolo lwami ndonyoka nalo, ndonyoka nalo neloba, nyesandla diyongena nalo. Ukolo lwami ndonyoka nalo, ukolo lwami ndonyoka neloba, mbe nyesa endiyongena nalo eka, enoma kunzima noma kunzima, enoma kuyenyu, ukolo lwami ndiyongena nalo eka, ayo matata, ayo matata, ayo matata, yo body, ayo matata, ayo matata, ayo matata, yo body, moalite. Dumalamba guys, litsugile, ralebo. Let me take this opportunity to greet our President, President Jacob Zuma, and also extend on behalf of the people of this province our greetings to the ministers. Baba Lintenga kwa mo letsatsi la gompieno. Re dumediseli batlatsa tona botlhe ba ba leng teng mo letsatsi la gompieno. Baeteledipele ba rona mo pusong ya Bokone Bophirima wa MECs, di mayara, ba lekgotla, makhanselara otlhe leng teng ka kwano mo letsatsi la gompieno. La mogetso ba gaetso mo Bokone Bophirima. Halala Bokone Bophirima, halala. Halala Bokone Bophirima, halala. Yano ba gaetso, the president cannot hear the main speech today. Tiro ya ka nna is just to welcome you. You will know ba gaetso gore Ventersdorp ine itsagale ka leina la ntate o mongwe yana wa ditedu la mogopola, a bidiwa ntate Terre'Blanche. Yaanong ntate Terre'Blanche ga tlhola le teng. Selo se re itumelang sona, what we are happy about, President and the rest of the ministers who are here and the people of South Africa, is that the people of this small dorpy called Ventersdorp, black and white, are now beginning to come together, are now beginning to work together to build a non-racial Ventersdorp. Yaanong re batla go ba leboga baagi ba ba rona ba mo Ventersdorp gore ba be ba dira ka puo ya Afrikaans tunadereng that we need between white people and black people as part of building a non-racial South Africa. President, in the office of the Premier, we have established what we call youth entrepreneurship services to make sure that we help young people with bursaries, but also to make sure that we help young people with the need for them to understand that they must become entrepreneurs. So that tomorrow young people must not just continue to be the employees, but our young people must also become employers and play an active and leading role in the economy of South Africa. So re itumetse thata mookamedi gore gompieno tautona wa bo le mo provinceng ya rena Bokone Bophirima o na le matona otlhe a leng teng ka kwane mo letsatsi la gompieno go tla go keteka le rona mo Bokone Bophirima mo le bo moebong jwa Afrika Borwa yotlhe June 16 jaaka re itse mo nageng ya rona ya Afrika Borwa. Our hope is that from here, as a people of this province, as a people of Ventersdorp, the small Dorpie, and now integrated into one big municipality called the JB Max municipality, we will now work together. Yes, the municipality is now renamed to become the JB Max municipality. It's a way of giving tribute to one of our most advanced revolutionaries, Ntate JB Max. So we hope that with the visit here and holding this event here, we will not only as a province but as this municipality redouble and triple our efforts in as far as working for the implementation of the radical socio-economic program is concerned. Ra leboga bagaetsho la mogetso nelang ke pula.
As we raise up our flags go leboga tona kgolo ya rona ya Bokone Bophirima ka mafoko a monate a kamogelo bagaetsho ntle le go senya nako. As we celebrate our day, our month, we are saying nothing without us. Allow me bagaetsho to call to the podium a new from the box, the chairperson of the National Youth Development Agency, one of our own, Mr. Mthweni, to give us a message of support as young people of the Northwest Province and the country ya rona ya South Africa. As we raise our flags and put our hands together for Mr. Mthweni.
My name is Friso.
Halala President Zuma, halala. Halala President Zuma, halala. Pambili President Zuma, pambili. Pambili tunakhuluma umapilo pambili. Long live the undying spirit of Hector Peterson, long live. Long live the undying spirit of Steve Biko, long live. Long live the undying spirit of Solomon Mahlangu, long live. Long live the undying spirit of Peter Mukaba, long live. Ayeye bantu abatsha, ayeye. Ayeye bantu abatsha, ayeye. Uzoyithola kanjani? Uhlele khoneni. His Excellency the President of the Republic of South Africa, Honorable President Zuma, the Deputy Minister in the Presidency, Honorable Buti Manamela, the Minister of Arts and Culture, Honorable Natim Tetwa, Ministers and Deputy Ministers that are present here today, members of the Provincial Executive Council of the Northwest, led by the Premier of the Northwest, His Excellency, Honorable Supra Maumapelo, the Mayor of Dr. Kenneth Kaunda Municipality, mayors of local municipalities that are with us, the Executive Deputy Chairperson and the Board of the National Youth Development Agency, the Chief Executive Officer of the NYDA and the Executive Management Team, members of various youth political formations and political structures that are with us today, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, Rally Dumerisa Bokone Bophirima, Re Jaaka batjha ba NYDA re kwano go tlo ketika letsatsi lena go tlo gopola di students tsa rona tse ileng gore ka 1976 salida ema da re tsone di ka se dumele go rutiwa ka Afrikaans ka gobane Afrikaans ga se language ya rona re batla go rutiwa ka language ya rona ye leng go ra itse language e leng gore ra e utlwisisa. Fela di students tseo di eme da re bone ga ba tlo emela and a government ye leng gore ga ba e votela ga ba itse ba re jaaka batjha ba mo South Africa ba tla ema ba ire gore government ya mo South Africa ibe government e leng gore ra e bona le gono. Honorable President was saying that young people of this country took the bull by its horns and defined their own destiny. We are here today as the National Youth Development Agency to say to you, President, we have listened to young people in this country. Young people in this country are saying that the levels of unemployment in this country are no longer acceptable. They are saying to deal with unemployment in this country, President, we need to start taking radical decisions that will ensure that young people become employed. One of those radical decisions, President, as you will be giving your speech, and I'm sure, President, you will agree with young people that the time has come that private companies, government departments must start reflecting 40% of young people in their own employment. Because young people constitute the majority of people in this particular country. It cannot be that when you look at the bureaucracy, you look at the private sector, you see old people sitting there when young people are out there not having jobs. Young people, President, are asking you that the time to use experience as a requirement to get a job must come to an end. Graduates are unemployed and they are told that to be employed, they need experience. How will young people get experience if they are outside of the system and they are not inside the system? Young people have said to us that they want to see the NYDA in every corner of South Africa. We want to stand here and say to you, young people of South Africa, never lose hope. The National Youth Development Agency is here. The National Youth Development Agency will be with you. We are going to be in every corner of this country. We are going to make sure that the views of young people find expression in government. With those few words, President, would like to say to you that we thank you very much for appointing this particular board. We will never disappoint you, President. We will ensure that at the end of the day, young people of this country have their needs served. And we are confident, President, that under your government, we are going to achieve those particular things. As you can see, President, young people of this country are here in numbers. Young people of this country have full confidence in the government of the Republic. Young people of this country will defend the standing of the government of the Republic. Because we know this democracy came by sweat and blood. We will never allow this democracy to go anywhere. If it needs to be, President, we will do what the generation of 76 did. We will fill up the streets in defense of our democracy. With those few words, thank you very much.
Indeed, as we continue to raise our flag, we will affirm our voices and say, "Ga gona sepe se se tlong go diragala for rona without us." As I request that ka megolokwane le ka medidietsane and raise our flags, go biletsa mo seraleng the Honorable Minister Nathi Mthethwa to come and present our next item. Ka megolokwane le medidietsane as we raise our flags.
Alala bukoni bupirima alala. Hola bacha hola. Thank you, Program Director, my co-program director, Ntombi Koloti, His Excellency the President of the Republic of South Africa, President Zuma, ministers and deputy ministers here present, the Premier of this province of Northwest, Premier Supra Mahuma Pilo, Councillor Musiane Sikhotso, the Executive Mayor, members of the Executive Council, distinguished guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, the youth of our country. Today will always be the most important day which decided the fate of democracy in this country when young people rose and took to the street and said, "This far, no further." As we reflect on that, we also have to remind ourselves that the youth before us, our forebears, identified the mission for themselves. And their mission was freedom in their lifetime. As they rose to build that giant of a movement of young people, the ANC Youth League, their war cry was freedom in our lifetime. Indeed, some of them lived to see that freedom, to see that mission fulfilled, the likes of the late President Nelson Mandela, amongst people who founded the ANC Youth League. Today, the mission of the youth of today, the generation of today, has been identified by yourselves as young people: economic freedom in your lifetime. And that is not going to happen, and it's not going to be achieved without coming up with clear, radical, socio-economic program to transform our society. Any other thing less than that, we will be scratching the surface. Our Premier here has welcomed us. He told us that the Njadi Bofiwe, so are home and dry, Premier. But I also want to say that I heard that you say this municipality, the Ventersdorp, is now JP Marks. That's good, Premier, but I've not received that application. It hasn't reached my desk, you see. So, as we request the President of the Republic of South Africa to come to the fore and give all of us the message, let us rise to welcome him on the podium here. Thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed. Please let us take our seats. Dumelang, le kae? Ha kuna boferefere mo. Tsinto se tsamaya hantle. Ne re a leboga. Re leboga haholo. Thank you very much, directors of the program, Mentombi and Datenati. The Premier of the Northwest, Date Supra Mahumapelo. Our ministers who are present here and deputy ministers, MECs who are present here, executive mayors and councillors, members of the National Parliament and members of the provincial legislatures. Members of the Provincial House of Traditional Leaders, also here present. Leadership of the National Youth Development Agency and other youth organizations. All the young people of South Africa, fellow South Africans,
Bagaesu dumelang. Molweni. Sanbonan. Today, South Africa marks 41 years since the historic uprising by the youth of our country on the 16th June 1976. This year's national commemoration is held in the home of our stalwart, J.P. Marx, whose remains we fetched from Russia and reburied here 2 years ago, and whose tombstone was unveiled in February this year. We pay tribute to him yet again as we recall this great but tragic moment in our history. National Youth Day is significant in our country as it acknowledges the heroism of the youth of 1976 who took on the apartheid state to register their total rejection of the diabolical Bantu education system at the time. They also took to the streets in order to advance the goals of the broader struggle for liberation and democracy in their country. They changed the course of history and the face of politics in our country. The uprising moved from Soweto to other parts of the country as our people said, enough is enough. They wanted to be free from the yoke of apartheid oppression. We pay tribute to all who lost their lives on this tragic day, such as Hector Peterson, Hastings Dlovu, and many others in Soweto and other parts of the country on June 16 and throughout that year. We remember the pain of the families of those who went missing, such as Mbuyisa Makubu, who is depicted carrying Hector Peterson in the famous and historic June 16 picture taken by photographer Sam Nzima. We also acknowledge the leadership of the June 1976 mass student revolt who contributed to moving our struggle forward, such as Tsietsi Machinini, Khotso Setlolo, Seth Mazibuko, Super Moloi, Daniel Manchinchi, Billy Masetla, Mephi Morobi, and many others. We also acknowledge women who played a prominent role but who are left out of the mainstream June 16, 1976 historical narrative, such as Sibongile Nkabela, Margaret Masabalala, Eunice Sithole, Patience Banda, and many others. We urge historians to ensure the inclusion of women in our June historical records and every other key episode in the history of our struggle, as there is a tendency to focus on males when history is recorded. Today, we also honor the successive generations of youth for having always been part of every radical or momentous phase in our movement's history. Led by various leaders, including the late courageous Peter Mukaba and others. Compatriots, the youth of 1976 fought for political freedom, which dawned in 1994 after a long, protracted struggle by our people. The youth is now fighting for social and economic freedom. The youth of 2017 is fighting for freedom from poverty, inequality, and unemployment. The government in 1976 responded with guns to the call of young people for freedom and a better life. The democratic government calls upon young people to work with us in all spheres of government as we proceed to ensure that young people live in decent homes, in communities with roads, electricity, water, recreational facilities. We want youth to access university and college education, to be free from drug and substance abuse, to be free from HIV and AIDS due to prevention and treatment. We want our youth to contribute to the advancement of the country in science and technology, sports, medicine, and other fields. Most importantly, they must achieve economic freedom. It is for this reason that this year's National Youth Day is celebrated under the theme, the year of Oliver Reginald Tambo, advancing youth economic empowerment. President Oliver Tambo, the centenary of his birth, we celebrate this year, believed in economic freedom and equality of our people. In his address to the first Congress of MPLA on the 12th December 1977, he had this to say, and I quote, "We visualize a South Africa in which the people shall govern, in which the wealth of the country shall be restored to the people, and where the land shall be shared among those who work it," unquote. Inspired by these words, we have therefore dedicated ourselves to radical socio-economic transformation with an emphasis on the need to achieve economic emancipation. Education is the most powerful weapon towards economic freedom. Government has taken reasonable and practical measures in ensuring that young people are enrolled in schools and study in decent schools and not mud schools and other inappropriate structures. Through the education infrastructure grant and the accelerated schools infrastructure delivery initiative, more new schools have been built, refurbishments made, and new school furniture delivered. For the current financial year, government has allocated 12 billion rand in total to improve our schools' infrastructure needs. Many learners come from poor homes where they go to school without having heard something to eat. It is for this reason that we started the National School Nutrition Program, which benefits 9 million learners from 21,000 schools per day to improve their performance in class. For the current financial year, government will spend some 6.8 billion rand on the nutrition scheme. We appreciate the gradual improvements in our matric pass rate each year, and invest in mathematics, science, and technology teaching in order to improve the country's performance in these critical fields. As part of building our new nation, we also want you, our youth, black and white, to be conversant and proficient in African languages, which define their identity as South Africans and Africans. In this regard, government is introducing the incremental use of African languages in schools on a compulsory basis. Beyond matric, government wants our youth to access higher education regardless of the economic status of their families. Since its inception, The National Student Financial Aid Scheme has disbursed more than 72 billion rand in loans and bursaries to students from poor households. More than 2 million students currently continue to receive NSFAS funding at our tertiary institutions, including those at the technical, vocational education and training colleges. This contribution by government is an important foothold onto which a more expanded and inclusive funding model can be found. We await the findings of the Hehe Commission of Inquiry with great interest in advising us on the funding of higher education, which is an apex priority for the democratic government. Fellow South Africans, our National Development Plan outlines the vision we have of a growing economy which must create jobs for our people. Ultimately, a growing economy is our most important solution against youth unemployment. We are going through a difficult period in the economy currently, which sluggish growth and also the recent downgrades of our investment grade as a country. Government will be meeting with business before the end of June so that together we can discuss ways of further igniting confidence in our economy and growth. Whilst we may have differences on some issues currently, we need to put the country first. And through working together, solutions can be found. Government is also playing its part to empower young people and cushion them from the harsh impact of the economic situation through creating job opportunities, training opportunities, and also providing funding support for those who wanted to open businesses. There are various programs already within government's economic sectors, employing and infrastructure development cluster towards youth empowerment at the national level, while provinces and municipalities have various programs in place as well. Since the launch of the expanded public works program, phase 3 in April 2014, over 1.2 million work opportunities have been taken up by the youth out of the 2.6 million work opportunities created by that program. In the current 2017 to 18 financial year, the expanded public works program aims to create more than 700,000 work opportunities for youth through the 4 sectors of the program, namely infrastructure, social sector, non-state, environmental and culture sectors. To mention a few examples of interventions, the Department of Environmental Affairs will prioritize the placement of young women in the environmental sector and will also invest 1.5 billion rand to reach 35,000 young people in various projects. The Department of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries will support youth-owned enterprises through the Comprehensive Agriculture Support Program and the Ilima Lesema programs. The Department of Communications, in collaboration with the Department of Public Works, will train more than 2,000 youth to help install set-top boxes to enable judicial migration. The Department of Trade and Industry, through the Manyetla Work Readiness Program, aims to provide training to 6,000 young people to position South Africa as a preferred offshore location for call centers or business process operations. Through the Department of Human Settlements, over 500 host employers in the real estate sector will absorb over 8,000 unemployed youth and graduates to take up opportunities in real estate. The Department of Energy will train young people as installers for the solar water heater program. The Department of Rural Development and Land Reform will continue implementing the National Rural Youth Service Corps and Youth Brigade program, focusing on agriculture, construction and engineering sectors through the training of 400 youth. The Department of Water and Sanitation continues to train youth people, continue to train young people as plumbers and artisans to participate in the program of preventing water leaks in municipalities. As part of driving economic emancipation, the National Youth Development Agency has been directed to focus on promoting youth entrepreneurship and the improved coordination of the National Youth Service across all sectors of government. In the current financial year, the agency will invest 72 million rand in the economic participation program. 18,000 young and aspiring entrepreneurs will receive business support services such as vouchers, the registration of new companies, mentorship, and training at different levels to encourage advancement of the entrepreneurship agenda. To enable a wider reach, the NYDA will open 4 new branches over the next 2 years in Ekurhuleni, Richards Bay, OR Tambo region in the Eastern Cape, and Newcastle in KwaZulu-Natal, which shall extend its services to more young people. Furthermore, the NYDA has positively responded to the call of young people in all branches. It shall be equipped with free Wi-Fi services to provide young people with access to technology. The NYDA will continue to prioritize education as well, and the Solomon Mahlangu Scholarship Fund supports 500 students annually. Government will continue to monitor the implementation of all programs aimed at supporting young people through a committee of deputy ministers led by the deputy minister in the presidency, Mr. Buti Manamela. The committee reports directly to the president. The deputy ministers work with young representatives who are members of the Presidential Youth Working Group. We will soon issue a public call for youth organizations to nominate members to serve on the Presidential Youth Working Group so that we can add more youth formations to this important body. Compatriots, let me today emphasize the need for young people to seize the opportunity provided by government to help them establish their own businesses. I'm happy today to host a few young trailblazers and achievers who prove that it is possible to succeed in South Africa for young people. Some are job creators in their own right, employing other young people. They prove that there is a lot of talent and excellence among the youth in South Africa. I would like to introduce these role models who represent many others in many communities. I take it that due to the distance, others who are supposed to be here, they are not here. But nevertheless, I will still call their names because I think it is important for us to know who are these. We have a young man who invented the dry bath at the age of 17 and is the founder and managing director in a company that manufactures the dry bath technology. Ludwig Marishane from Cape Town. He is not here. But that is one of the young men who are supposed to be here. We have a young entrepreneur from Tembisa in the East Rand, Gauteng, who owns a company that manufactures branding materials. Bulelani Balabala. Akasukume, you must stand up. Yes. Nango. We have the founder of a company that manufactures assistive devices for cancer and turned victims. Miss Nieli Kolisa from Tabanchu in the Free State. South Africa idlala iyaqhuba. More young people are becoming doctors and specialists at a young age in our country. We are proud to host an obstetrician and gynecologist who is also a lecturer and doctor of the Wits University Obstetrics and Gynecologist Clinic Research Division at the age of 34, Dr. Salome Maswime from Midrand in Gauteng. She does look young, but she's 34. Don't worry. She is a qualified doctor. Serious. We have a young person who runs an organization that creates handcrafted, fun products made out of a natural fabrics and African prints. Miss Ashley Scofield Tauros from Durban, KwaZulu-Natal. That's KZN. I'm also hosting a young person who invented a 15-in-1 microwave oven, an electronic vuvuzela, and an auto shoe polisher. Sir Stuart Tlati from Klerksdorp in the northwest. He is preparing to go to the moon, by the way. the scientist. We are happy also to introduce in absentia the founder and the owner of a shoe repair and manufacturing business in Bloemfontein, Free State, Miss Angela Mkabela. She was supposed to be here, but unfortunately, she couldn't make it. We have a young entrepreneur whose business offers a variety of services such as IT support, network design, and cyber security, and currently employs 27 people. Shadrach Sitole from Randburg in Gauteng. He's also not here, unfortunately, but he's one of our young people who have succeeded, to jump higher than others. Huh? Serious. We have two young people who own a catering and canteen services business which employs 20 young people. Bulelani Tembe and Lungile Ntetwa Unyambose from Tembisa in the East Rand. Upu partner wako. Where is your partner? But he is represented, nevertheless. Well done. Also, in the catering business is a young man who runs a mobile kitchen that employs 2 people in Stenga, KwaZulu Natal. Utamsanga Taba. He's not here. Kubongwa okuncane kubonga okukhulu. Yebo. We have a young woman who runs a cooking retail and culinary school startup. That's a business which also provides kitchen accessories. Mogau Seshoweni from Tshwane, Gauteng. She's not, unfortunately, with us as well. We also have in our midst a young person whose company stops water leaks from toilets. Paseka Lesolang. He has done more things. He has created a very useful toilet that can be used in the countryside. Flashing, but done by him, invented by him. I've seen it somewhere, in some area I know called Nkandla. I saw it. We have the co-founder and chairwoman of Raise the Children International, a non-profit organization that identifies self-motivated orphans from impoverished and rural communities for support. Lesego Serolo. Asidlali siyaqhuba. Bayakhala abanye bathi asenzi lutho. The young people are serious. There are many more outstanding young people who are engineers, plumbers, farmers, builders, electricians, teachers, nurses, police officers, and a host of other careers. We urge all our youth to go out there and find their own opportunities, and urge government and the private sector in every province to support these young go-getters. If we are still young, how many how do we fast fail? Ikuswanetse uri ume ka mauto. Utsama ubatle zinto tla tsetsa. Ke Sesotho sakha ke seo. Ke shapa Sesotho nna. We also urge the private sector to open more opportunities and employ young people as interns so that they can gain much needed experience and skills. Many young people are sitting at home with qualifications, all who are in management positions in various companies and the public sector must make it their responsibility to appoint young people as interns each year and give our youth a head start in life. I want to agree with the chair of the NYDA on the point he was raising, that in the past, the problem was that people, or the majority of people, were not skilled, and therefore you couldn't get a job. You end up getting just the job which, as a young trade unionist, we were calling it Tatalapa Begalap. The challenge today is that they've got skills. Now the bar has been moved up. If we have got all the certificate, then the experience. I think it is unfair to young people. Absolutely unfair. It's a matter I would suggest that young people should raise it, not just with the employers only. Because you will recall at one point we were saying, let us find a bridging method or program so that you could gain experience. But there was a problem with the unions, where they felt that will take their jobs. I think that's a matter to discuss, among others, with the unions, by the youth. What must they do? We must find a middle ground that helps us to solve that problem. Once we are skilled, besides the intern or whatever, there must be a program that we all do, government, business, labor, together, and we should agree. It's a matter that needs to be discussed. I totally agree. Compatriots, a successful youth is a healthy youth. Riautwan, a successful youth is a healthy youth. It's an important item for the youth to be healthy. You can't be a young person but have a body of an old person. Because we are not exercising. You utla sufara ka speed. Utla sufara ka speed. And we are going to get sick. A healthy and a successful youth is a healthy youth. We are concerned about the high HIV infection rate in the youth age. Cohort of ages between 16 and 25, mainly. That group, 15 and 25. We therefore urge young people to support various initiatives of the Department of Health, such as the Dreams and pillar campaigns to fight HIV and AIDS and tuberculosis, TB. Let me also take this opportunity to appeal to the youth to join the fight against the abuse of women and children. Our country reels from one shock after another with regard to callous criminality against women and children. We urge the youth to help us fight against this scourge, working together with government and community structures. We have taken a decision at the government level that crime in the country is too much. That therefore, as a society, the whole country, influenced by the national challenge on crime, we should establish anti-crime street committees and village committees. And those committees should not be composed by politicians only. Every person who lives there, so that we can protect one another, is an initiative that I would be happy if the youth takes it up, gives leadership in the establishment of the street and what else? That's right, and village committees. Do we agree? Engathi nivuma half. When can I check whether we are doing something? Time frames. Ngiyengizwe besho njalo abafundile. Nini? September or July? This July? At the end of this July? Agreed. That's a contract. We've agreed. Where is the chair of? Because you know where to get them, I will sit behind you guys. In July, I want a report how many street committees and village committees have been established which are anti-crime at the end of July. Agreed? Wonderful, wonderful. I'm happy. We also urge the youth to join the war against the abuse of alcohol and drugs, which are tearing families apart and destroying the lives of our young people. Agreed? Navuma kancane manje. Okay. We must defeat Nyaupe. Agreed? We must defeat hunger, dacha, and all other substances that seek to derail the march of our youth to a better future. Importantly, the youth, black and white, should join the battle against racism in the country and to build a truly united, non-racial society. The town of Colony here in Northwest lost a young person, Matlomula Mushou, who was brutally murdered. The circumstances of this murder will be determined by the courts, and we should allow the law to take its course. His death must unite the people of Colony in the determination to defeat racism, working together. Racism has been one of the terrible sickness of this country during apartheid. We must cure it. We hold the June 16 commemoration in Ventersdorp, which has had its own sad history of negative race relations, given the influence of some former resident of this town. I'm just forgetting his name, unfortunately. But you know him. You know him, Mos. At the same time, Ventersdorp has a positive history because Uncle J.B. Max is now buried here. Let us build a non-racial town where South Africans respect one another and build a better future together in the memory of Oliver Reginald Tambo and J.B. Max. I'm very happy, Premier, that you have combined this place with another one to make it a bigger municipality. And you are giving it the name J.B. Max. And it is in the post office, being posted to the minister, who has not received the stuff yet. Wonderful. This will make this place wonderful. It is famous of producing two extremes. A communist on one side, a racist on the other. Now these are being worked to come together. Okay? Wonderful. Fellow South Africans, especially the youth, let me reiterate that education is the key to a brighter future. Our message to the youth is study, read, and be knowledgeable so that you can lead the country into the future. Knowledge is an instrument that gives you the energy, capacity to participate to take South Africa forward. Absolutely important. And at any given time, it is the youth that shapes the future for itself. Without the youth standing up, the youth is still having energy, imagination, sort of adventurous kind of thing, you succeed. Education, education, education. No country has succeeded or has developed without education. All those countries that invest in education, they are investing cleverly, and they know what they are doing. It's a matter of time. They will be in the top line. That's what South Africa can be. If we can produce these young people, there is no old man here, but they have already achieved. They have already achieved. Some of them, you can refer to them now as boss. They are employing people. Why? Because abaduli fast fell. Ba bereka. Ba sebis. Dream. If you are a youth, dream. Interpret the dream. Implement the dream. Is your right? Ito ngasafanele siphuphe manje. Thina sesiphupha ngale. Kuthi sinayo indawo. So fika indawo ikhona yini. Singaze silusa amadada. Kuthiwa indawo ayikho la uyapanishwa lusa amadada. Ningalingisi lo tsotsi owashona esemncane ehamba namakhehle ezulwini. Kulamakhehle kukhona umfundisi. Umfundisi uphethe itikiti lakhe lasezulwini ulifakela ngemva. Utsotsi ngemva kwakhe. Uyalibona itikiti, utsotsi akanalo itikiti. Useyalithwebula. Uyalithatha. Uyafika umfundisi kuthiwa itikiti uyafuna ke. Uyafuna sonke lesikhathi kuthiwa awumeceleni ubufuna. Abangene wangena utsotsi. Itikiti wangena ngaphakathi. Wangena ezulwini utsotsi ngetikiti. Umfundisi uyafuna. Finally abase gateini bathi no kusho ukuthi awunalo itikiti. No ngumfundisi mina kodwa kusho ube umfundisi onezono. Hamba kushone ngale. Uya esihogweni. Then he gets there. Bamfaka lapha bamfaka imfoloko akayinawo indaba uyafuna. Usafuna itikiti lakhe. Ulazi kahle lila. Now, after some time, usathane uyabona ukuthi lo muntu lo akezwa ngisho umlilo. Ufuna itikiti. So bambuza ufuna ndoda. No, I'm looking for my ticket longena ezulwini. Ubuliphethe So usefonela uNkulunkulu ukuthi hey, kunomuntu la uthi ufuna itikiti lakhe lokungena. Now, I think lo muntu udukile. Kusho ukuthi khona wami oze ngalapha. Manje somthola kanjani? Ngoba kusho ukuthi owami lapho ilokufana ngabula kuze owakho ngala. Kuthiwe no akube khona iconcert. Kuze abantu abazoshaya intambo ikhala kamnandi. Zanele zakhala intambo babona ngotsotse sethi. Kwathiwa ozala. Awukhipha itikiti lakho, barikhipha. Ubani wena? Akalazi naleli igama la. Ntshontshe itikiti lomlungu. Lo lekamfundisi. So don't do that. Don't take itikiti lethu thina sesoyihamba. Work for it. Please study, gain the skills you need to become successful. That's a message to the youth. Study, learn. You know, if I tell people I never went to school, they don't believe it. Not a single teacher in South Africa could say he saw this forehead of mine in his class or her class. Never. I never went to school because I had problems. but I took a decision to educate myself. Angihlalanga phansi. This time around, when government even assists us, even if the assistance is not yet 100%, but there are more opportunities. Please, come in, be in this earth, play your part. As individual and collectively, as these brothers and sisters have done. Play your part. You can't fail. I was not just uneducated in the township only, in the rural area. No school, nothing. But I educated myself because I did not sit down. I stood up and said, I must succeed. Tell me today that you are educated, I don't care. You can tell me, I'm not worried. You tell me, mina ngafunda Shakespeare, ngizakubonisa. Ngizamusho Shakespeare manje. Because I studied for knowledge, not for the examination. And therefore the knowledge is here. You want me to quote Shakespeare to prove the point? Which one do you want me to quote? Huh? Julius Caesar. I've come here to bury Caesar. Huh? Not to praise him. Huh? You want Macbeth? You know the Benamut in Macbeth. Aeneas got an iPhone. Macbeth was told by a soothsayer that no man born of a woman can kill him unless the Benham wood moved. You remember that? And what happened? In some mysterious situation, he was told the Benham wood is moving. And he knew that was the end of him. Because the enemy had taken cover there and took the branches, camouflaged with it. So as they moved out, they looked like the entire Benham wood was moving. Whilst he was in trouble, somebody comes to tell him that the wife has just died. What does he say in the soliloquy? She should have died hereafter. There would have been a time for such a word. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. Ngiyaniyeka lapha. Industrialists in various fields and achieve the economic freedom that your forebears were unable to achieve. If the old ones did not become scientists, they did not go to the moon. Let us go to the moon now. Yes. That's what we need to do. If they did not discover other things, let us discover them now. That is your job. I wish I was still a youth. In this freedom, I will be everything. I will even have the wings to fly. Because it is wonderful to be youth. In this way, you will pay fitting tribute to the 1976 generation who struggled when it was heavy, when they were shot at. Today, nobody shoots at us. We can do more. It is our wish that as young people, we become greater in taking South Africa to prosperity. Don't join people who are very negative about South Africa, who even forget where it comes from. Be positive. Because if we are negative, then everything looks negative around you. But if you are positive, everything looks positive. As a young person, be positive. You must always want to jump and catch the moon. As a young person. Don't walk like Mtomtala. As a young man, ngizonibona kahle manje manizonika report ngoJuly about committees. Agreed? Wonderful. Well, colleagues, citizens, we have commemorated this day today. I wish you all a meaningful and successful National Youth Day today. Remember, those who died on this day, who disappeared, they were fighting so that today we should be free. This must be remembered all the time. Even if umoya omubi uyakufikela, kumbula, we have to make South Africa reach prosperity. And it is us, nobody else who will do so. Realeboga. Ke leboga haholo ba Yesu, batho ba bokoni, bophirima. Thank you very much.
Bagaetsho, as we continue go isa diflaga tsa rona go godimo to show respect, bomme ka megolokwane le medidietsane. Re lebogile bagaetsho, re ka dula mo fatshe. As I welcome on the podium the Honorable Executive Mayor of the District, Meba Reisi Khotso, gore fa mafoko a tebogo. Honorable Premier and Honorable Minister, allow me to say, no little amount of infiltration will deter us from loving and respecting our president. Siyakuthanda baba, siyakuhlonipha, and we are not shaken. Can we raise our flags to show the love and respect to our president? Re lebogile bagaetsho. We wanted to say, as the hosting province and the young people in the Republic, we are not afraid. Not anytime soon, we'll continue to respect our president. Meba Reisi Khotso, gore lebogela baeng ba rona.
Well, that was President Jacob Zuma delivering his keynote address here in Ventersdorp as we remember the youth of 1976. And I mean, when we do that, we don't just talk about the history. We have to talk about how far we've come as a country, what we've achieved, and the challenges that we continue to face. Now, President Jacob Zuma focused a lot on social and economic freedom when it comes to the youth. Now, we know that especially especially here in Ventersdorp. Those are issues that the youth faces and continues to grapple with, and not just here in Ventersdorp, but around the country as well. We know that there was a bit of difficulty there when the president took to the podium a little bit earlier, where there was a group that tried to heckle him, but they were soon taken out of the venue by police. When that happened, halfway through the speech, it happened again, and we know that there was a bit of a fight between this group and the police outside the venue, but they were taken out of the gates of the venue. But now, Lebo, before you wrap for us, just tell us more about the other issues that the president focused on today.
Absolutely, Nomawethu. The president really encouraged the youth to put education as a priority in their lives, and that once they do that, they will be able to succeed. And that's one of the most important ways in which they would be able to honor the fallen heroes who have laid their lives before them, and that also to take advantage of the opportunities that are presented to them. I think all the speakers that spoke here today spoke really in unison, talking about economic transformation, particularly by the youth. But of course, Nomawethu, that's how we wrap up events here today. From all of us here in Ventersdorp, it's a wrap, and it's back to you in studio.